you know that was going to be part of the plan, that you wouldn't get a lot of minutes during the season, but it's when crunch time got here that you're going to be a bigger part of the equation?
Somewhat I knew about that. But whatever it takes, man, to do whatever I got to do for this team, I was on board with that no matter what.
Raymond, you've been in the league for a long time. What do you think of the criticism that gets lofted with Russell Westbrook?
I think it's stupid. I don't like it. And, when you're in a position like him, it comes with critics. It comes with people who like you, people who hate you, people who love you. It comes with a little bit of everything, Sometimes it sucks to be the man, and just knowing him personally over these last 2 years, things that I hear about him, things that I see people say it's not true. You just have to know the guy personally. He's a passionate person. He's an emotional person when it comes to playing basketball, and plays with a chip. And I think a lot of that gets reflected on who he is as a person. And that's just two different people, And I don't like it. I don't like it at all because I know him personally. He's like a brother, and it's not fair, to be honest.
What to you is, you guys have some talent, some experience. What's the next step in this? What's kind of holding this team back in the playoffs?
I don't think it's nothing really holding it back. It's about, things happen. You have a great season. I've seen teams come out and play great and lose in the first round, and that's what happens. Is just got to figure it out. It's a different type of basketball when it's playoff basketball. It's a different type of lock-in. It's a different type of focus. It's different, man. I've seen teams, like I said, just kill all year, and playoffs come, couldn't quite get it done. And it's just what happens. It's not about what you're going to do differently. What we can do differently is win. And continue to win and continue to move on and try to win what everybody's trying to do is win a championship, and that's the ultimate goal.
Ray, you guys had this team over 82 games of the regular season, had some pretty wild swings. There were some awesome moments and extended, and then there were some valleys. When you think about being consistent and developing habits over the course of the regular season, what needs to change to do? And I know injuries come into it, and
right.
All of that stuff changes the equation, but just to develop more of a consistent habit during the regular season habits, how do you do that?
Well, I mean, when you have injuries, things hurt. Guys go out, especially if it's key guys. That changes a lot. Now you're asking somebody who had a lesser role to step his role up, and sometimes it's hard for a guy to go back to that role when that person comes back, and it's a lot of stuff that mix into that, and it's difficult. It's not easy, and game of basketball is not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy game to play, and it's a lot of mental that comes with the game, and some people can handle it, some people don't have the experience. And I think a lot of that ties into it too. Sometimes you have young guys, sometimes you have older guys, and your older guys handle things differently than maybe a younger guy, and sometimes all that stuff ties in. And consistency, yeah, is always key. If you have everybody on the same page, and one guy steps out, the other guy steps in, and then he understands that when that guy steps back, you got to take that step back as well. And sometimes that's difficult. Sometimes that's hard, especially when you're dealing with young guys, who wants to be good, who wants to establish a name for themselves, and and just play. And it's hard, and that's a part of it, though.
Teams that you've been on that have done a good job in being consistent in the past, are there any hallmarks of those teams? Is it about having more veteran guys? I mean, is there something that those teams have that has enabled or helped that along the way?
Well, it's not necessarily that. I mean, I've been on a good team in Dallas. I've been on a good team in New York, and it's no different here. This team here is just as good, if not better, in both of those teams I was on. And it's just like I said, it's one of those situations where things just didn't fall our way when it got into the postseason. It's unfortunate, but it just didn't go that way we wanted.
Ray, last year you guys started 8-12 and finished 40-22. This year you guys are 38-20 and then had that 6-13 stretch in March that kind of ruined your season.
Mm-hmm.
What goes into fixing that consistency so that you guys are winning at the similar pace that you guys are for the 3/4 of the year?
I mean, you can say a lot of things, man. You can You can say things can be done differently by players, things can be done differently by trainers, coaches. At the end of the day, we got to go out there and play. It ain't about X and O's. It ain't about, what play should be called, what defense should be coverage, against the team. This is all about going out and playing at a certain level, playing hard, playing with a sense of urgency, and I think just performing at a high level. Sometimes playing in a long season, it don't always happen that way. I don't think nobody goes the whole season and play perfect for all 82, or even have stretches where they lose 4 or 5 in a row, or lose, or win 4 or 5, 6 in a row. That's all about having 82 games in the season. It's a long stretch, and then, you have ups and downs. It's all about how you bounce back from the lows, though, and the downs.
Raymond, do you plan to be back next year? You're a free agent. Have you talked about coming back?
Yeah, no question, man. I love it here. I love it, this organization. I love this team. I love this city. I'm a guy at a point in my career, like I want to be just settled and just enjoy playing the game that I love, and enjoying being in a city that loves me back and loves their team, and there's no better place than here, really. So, yeah, I would love to come back, but, free agency hits, see what happens.
Did you, with Nick, this first year Nick wasn't on the team, did that open up space for you? I'm sure you're already a leader in many respects, but did that open up space for you that you were able to take advantage of?
I mean, it opened up a lot of more, being a big brother, being a uncle, because most of these guys call me Unc, because they so young. I've known a lot of these guys when they was in high school, when they was kids. You know what I'm saying? So, just being that guy, being that voice that Nick was in the locker room, just that leader, that voice, and just that person that guys can go to. I felt like I needed to fill that void. Yeah, for sure.
Paul had some interesting comments about Terrence, and I want to make sure I read it so I'm not completely wrong about what I said, but he was talking about he needs to essentially put pressure on Billy, to have more of a role in the offense going into that next year. I just want to get your thoughts on that. Young guys taking more of an emphasis on personally, and taking an ownership of being more part of an offense as they kind of mature in their career.
No question. I mean, I told Terrence myself, I said this summer, we're going to get together, because he pretty much lives in Texas for the most part, back and forth, just like I do from here in Oklahoma. I said, we're going to get together. We're going to do a lot of ball handling stuff, a lot of stuff off the dribble, to make you a more all-around scorer. We all know he's athletic and jump out the gym. He can shoot the three, but as a two guard, you got to be able to put the ball on the floor and do a lot of things. That's things that he can do, but that's also things that he can improve at as well. So I think that's more so what Paul was saying, that he needs to put pressure on coach, and is like, I'm a guy that can score the ball as well. I'm a guy that can put this ball on the floor and make plays too. So I need you to put me more into the offense. I think that's what Paul was saying more about. He need to put pressure on coach in that way, and I think that's something that he listened to us, and he heard us loud and clear, and he's going to put that work in this summer.
Right.
Somebody.
You're close with Paul, and he was in here. He didn't tell us everything about the shoulder situation he's dealing with, but it sounds like it may have been even more severe and long term than we even knew. What you saw him go through and the performances that we still saw him command out there, how would you sort of characterize what he was dealing with and what we saw on a lot of nights?
For a guy to just fight through, things that he was fighting through, and just to be that tough and that resilient, and just, give up his body for the team and for us, that's just shows what type of character, what type of player he is, and that's why Paul Joy gets paid the money that he gets paid, and and why he's having the successful career that he's having thus far, and he's a great player, he's a great guy, dear friend, and he's just all around good person and a good dude, man. And just to fight through that stuff and still be able out there and be in the trenches with us, just a tip off to him.
Is there a sense that there was a lot left on the table simply because he wasn't at 100%, 100% for the last half of the year.
It's a lot left on the table, period. You know, if we feel like we definitely underachieved, and, you know, we feel like we still should be playing right now. So with him not being 100% or not, like, you know, we feel like we still should be playing. We still should be in this fight right now, but it didn't happen that way.
I remember you saying earlier in your career when you were out of the rotation, it really infuriated you and something that was hard to deal with.
Yeah.
There was a stretch you weren't in the rotation, but then come playoff time and late in the season, you're fully in it.
Right.
Was there something about the way that you approached it this year and that you're really proud of, that the way you kind of handled those moments through the course of the 82?
I think I finally could say I've become a man. Man, it was tough. It just shows the maturity level of myself, where I've grown from being a young man into a man, and just staying professional, staying ready, and just understanding, you know, what my role was. You know, understanding what was needed from me from this team this year to do whatever I needed to do. If that's me not playing 20 games and all of a sudden I got to play the next 4, then that's what it is. And I had to make sure I stayed ready no matter what at all times, because my number could have been called. It could have been called in the fourth quarter and I had played all game and I haven't played in 20 games. All of a sudden it's Raymond. I'm like, who? And, you know, I got to go out there. I got to be ready to go. I got to be ready to play, you know, and it's just... You know, I really found myself as a person even more this year. Just, you know, just staying ready and just staying professional, staying focused, and not letting things like that, and looking at the better side of it, because I could be out the league. I could be one of those guys who not playing, who looking, and who wants to be here, and I'm here. So I got to look at the positive side of things too. When you feel like things are not going your way, you got to look at the positives too.
Anybody else?
My man. All right.